This is the time to build our nation.
This is Craps Nation. Craps Nation. This is Craps Nation.
Okay, and welcome to session 1 of DICE training. Let's start together. Let's create a benchmark. Basically, we need to create a benchmark. Let me just see here. So we're going to go through and create a benchmark together. What is a benchmark? Basically, you have a certain way of throwing dice, and I just don't want you to deviate. Just pick up the dice like you usually do. Just throw them, but this time get a pen and paper. I'm going to actually provide you guys with a spreadsheet that you can print out if you want to, or record your rolls on the spreadsheet, and note what the results are. Now it's very important for you to use two different dice, colors of dice. Red one for right, I would say blue one for left. Right, red, BL, left, blue, left. If you don't have blue and you have another color, use that as your left die. Now we record dice like so. Left die is recorded first, right die second. So get that pen and paper, or download the spreadsheet I'm going to share with you and start recording. I just need you to do 216 rolls. Now 216 rolls done at the same time should take you around 3 hours. If you do it over, let's say 3 days, it should be an hour a day, and that should get you all set up. Now let's see. What we want to do basically is establish your SRR 7 to rolls ratio, and to do that you need to actually see how many 7s you got, the total amount of 7s that you got during those 216 rolls. Then do a division, 216 divided by the number of 7s that you got, and that will be your starting SRR. This number is going to be used as our baseline, which is the benchmark from which to improve. And I just wanted to say something to everybody watching. The reason why we actually do this, we need a common terminology so that we can speak the same language. I mean, if somebody, or if I say, you know, you are double pitching, you should be understanding what I'm saying. So when you actually do your results, see what your dice are doing. And in this video, it's going to be a very basic video. It's the first one of a series which is coming, you know, your way. I don't know, every 3-4 weeks I will be putting out the next and the next video. It's going to be telling you exactly what terms we use for this particular training session. Now, I'm sure other people use other words, but most of the words are like standard practice. But we will be using the same terms so that we all speak the same language. Alright, on that note, let's move on. The video is going to play, hopefully. There we go. Terminology. Placing dice according to coordinates. Okay, so dice, to place a dice in a certain set, what we call a dice set, we need two coordinates. We need one for each die, or actually two numbers for each die. And we use numbers at the top and the number which is facing us on each die. So here we go, let's see. The 5-4-5-4 set has the 5 on top and the 4 facing the shooter. And exactly the same thing is for the right die. Here it is. You can see on the top you'll find 5s on both dies and 4s facing you. The 6s are on the left side of the shooter. And the aces, which we cannot see, are on the right side of the shooter. Second set is the 3-2-3-6 set. So 3-2 represents the 3 on the top of the left die and the 2 facing the shooter, and the 3-6, which is the second number, the second set of coordinates, is 3 on top and the 6 facing the shooter. And I think we're going to show this in an example as well. Fancy graphics coming your way. There we go, we dropped the curtain. So 3 on top on both dies, but there's a 2 facing the shooter, 6 facing the shooter on the right die. 3, 2, 3, 6. Alright, by knowing the two numbers on each die, you have the coordinates which make your dice set. Terminology, dice set names. Now I haven't included photos of each set, but this will come later. We have hard ways, V sets, cross sixes, kissing sets, and all 7 sets. I think kissing sets, they must have another name, but the dice sets belong to families. So, right, let's go to this one, dice movement. Dice movement involves how the dice actually move in order to give us the result. We have on-axis movements, off-axis, primary, secondary, single pitch, double pitch, explosion, implosion, drift. Now, on-axis can be single pitch, double pitch, can be primary, secondary. Off-axis can be explosion, implosion, or drift. So I should have had them grouped together, but here are the examples. On-axis primary. This is where the rotations are exactly the same as both dies. So when they stop, you will see that their axis, the 6 and 6, remains the same, and the results are hard ways if you're using a hard way set. Then we'll go to another one where there is rotational differences. Single pitch. You can see the left die moving faster by just 1 pitch. So it's still on axis, the 6s are on the side, but if you can see, they are not hard ways anymore because the left die has moved faster. So there was rotational difference, therefore single pitch. Not to worry about that. If you single pitch is fantastic. Let's go to double pitch. This is a hard way set. You can see the right die rotating much faster than the left die, and as a result of that, it's 7s all round. So on axis double pitch is a 7 for the hard ways. On a 3 V set or any V set or cross 6s, it could be a hard way or it could be a different number. We go to off axis, explosions of the left die. Now the left die moves outwards. This is why we call it an explosion, because they open up. 1 on the top, 5 on the other top. Now if you're using hard way sets, this is not bad. You'll never get a 7 if you explode just 1 die. we're going to go implosion on the left die. We start with a 5-4-5-4 set, implode it, we'll get the 6 coming up, and again there is no chance of a 7. So we're going to do exactly the same thing for the right die and the left die, so that you understand what imploding, exploding each die means. Explosion right die means that the right die is moving outwards because it's exploding. It's exploding from its the way it's kissing the other die. So any explosion on a hardware set will not yield a 7. It's just how the dice are designed. Let's do an implosion on the right die. So the implosion, it means that it moves inwards. Again, you'll find that implosions on hardways do not cause 7s. But what do cause 7s, as we have seen, are double pitch and implosion, explosion of both dice, as you're going to see here. So as both dice implode inwards, the 6 and the 1 come into play. So if you get 6-1 results, you probably either imploded the dice or exploded. 6-1 or 1-6. Sometimes it's very hard to track the dice to say which one is left, which one is right. Here we go with the explosion of both dice. They explode outwards and the 1-6 is revealed. This is a very short sort of explanation of why, what happens. I'm not telling you why it happened. Now we go to drifts. Drifts is when both dice move and drift to one direction together in unison, and they reveal the aces on a hardware set with a 6-1 axis, or if they drift to the right, yes, you guessed it, it will reveal the 6s. On other sets, this is not going to give you an extreme result. On the hardways with the 6-1-6 with the 6-1 axis is going to give you the 12 and the aces. So we got the terminology down, and the idea here is for you guys to start practicing and make comments on what you believe is primary, secondary, drifts of axis, etc. Just learn all the different things that we talk about in this particular session. It's important that we speak the same language so that we can progress from there. This is elementary for a lot of people, and they probably don't need it, but if we're going to communicate on this level, we need to actually speak the same language, so that when I say something during a session, you actually understand exactly what I'm saying without me having to explain anything to you. Some of the sessions may be done live, I don't know, it will depend on what people want. This is a free tutorials kind of training. It doesn't cost anybody anything but just their time. I just need to say something right from the outset. The fact that becoming a better shooter requires dedication. It requires persistence, perseverance, a lot of frustration. It doesn't come easy to anybody, and initial results will mean nothing. What does mean everything is for you to be persistent and be dedicated to becoming a better shooter. This is the only way I found to become better, and I'm not one of the best shooters out there. I'm sure there are people that are much better than I am. However, my aim in doing this series is to help people out there who are shooting dice, maybe unknowns to you, but they may get to a table and help you not to lose your money on randoms. We're trying to make less people random and more people have a bit more control over their destiny with the dice, I would say. And we're trying to give them more experience on why things are happening and how they should be correcting them. I will try my best to get people to a certain level. That is my aim, that's the objective. I'm doing this for free. But having said that, if somebody gets to a certain level or is at a certain level, I would agree with something that my friend Max said. You need to actually go and get those fine-tuning tips from somebody who is a professional. I have to say this, professional people will actually give you a perspective that you didn't have. And I found that out through a good friend of mine, Don Wordslayer. He actually helped me a lot, and he explained to me things that I didn't know I was doing wrong. I have a lot of friends who actually look out for me while I'm shooting live, and they actually notice things. They may not have the answers, but at least they notice that I'm doing something wrong. And that helps me, and it's very important not to go through this process alone. I think it's quite a good idea for you to have somebody like a wingman. I will definitely try and help as much as I can if you want to get in touch with me. But I'm not going to do it, answer questions right now which have to do with more sort of advanced things. Stick with me. I think most of the questions will be answered during the series. The next session, I believe, is going to be to do with what your results were, and we start talking about elements like how to pick up the dice and how to throw the dice and what grips you're using. And perhaps I will need the assistance of people that actually use different grips, and I will ask for it. And I'm hoping that people are going to, contribute to this session, because I will not do it alone. I only know one way of throwing dice. It's a par method, I think it's called. 3-finger grip, stick left, and I'm getting quite good at it. It's a traditional way of throwing dice. If you want, other grips, do let me know in the comments, and I will entertain this idea, and I will see whether some of my friends will accommodate and help out to perhaps showcase how they throw and what are the advantages, disadvantages. As I said, the idea is to do a free training sort of cycle to get people from, I would say, A to S, and then from then on, if you get to the S, that means that you are quite an accomplished shooter, and to get to Z, you probably need the fine-tuning that I cannot offer you, and somebody who's doing this professionally will step in and help you out for a fee. On that note, I would like to say thank you, and please, if you want to follow, you need to subscribe so that you get the notifications. I never say this on my videos because I'm not after the subscribers, but since I'm trying to help people, they need to get notified, so you need to get notified. So hit the subscribe button and the notifications so that you get notified when the next one is up. This is George from CY, and I'm grateful for you listening to me for all this time. And on that note, dice are out.
This is Craps Nation.